Welcome to this short demo for the Engage Consult client. In this demo, we'll highlight our clinical system integration with EMIS PCS. The Engage Consult client is a digital asynchronous consultation system for use in practices and care networks, and it allows patients to send online medical requests, submit admin queries, and upload health data, which can all be stored on the patient's clinical record. We'll now have a look at the clinical system integration available and highlight other key features. As we can see in the patient portal, which would be accessed via the practice website, the patient has the option to submit an online medical consultation, submit an admin query, or upload relevant health data. The patient also has the ability to submit online forms, which would be allowed by the practice. In this example, we have a medication review. And the patient can also click on any referred links provided by the practice. In this example, we have self-help from the NHS and coronavirus advice. We would also like to highlight the alert shown to the patient when submitting those online medical requests to advise them this is not to be used for an emergency situation. And there's also relevant signposting to alternative services if required throughout the patient journey.
We'll now look at a basic request and sending that request over to the clinical system EMIS PCS. As we can see here on the request, we have messages to and from the patient. We have internal notes added on for the request as well. We can also see the request details below, just down here. You can see the patient was asked questions and you can see the patient response. You can see the patient was signposted to links regarding their condition and reported the medical history as well. So to upload this to the clinical system, on the Action tab over here, we'll just click Send to Clinical. It'll open up this box here where you can add any additional text, confirm your consultation method. If there's anything on the request that you do not wish to add to the clinical record, for example this note, you would deselect the box here and it would add everything on the request apart from the note. Be sent to Clinical and complete. That will then be uploaded to your clinical record and the request has been completed as well. Now looking at the request that's been uploaded to the clinical record, we can see this has been uploaded as structured data. We can see the Engage Consult has been coded in as a medical request, the details of the patient, alerts shown, questions asked and answered, and other medical history as well. We can also see that the patient's messages to and from, and as I mentioned, we have not added the notes on for the patient as well, so that's not been added to the clinical record. We'll now look at some of the key features on offer with the Engage Consult client. As we can see here, we have a request for a patient that's been sent through. The patient's identity has been verified, been shown an alert, and it confirms that they are an account holder. Because the patient is an account holder, we are able to contact the patient. There's two different methods for this. We can either message the patient through the two-way messaging system. You can select templates to choose from, and also send attachments directly from the clinical system as well. Once you've sent that message, the patient receives an email to let them know that they have a message in their Engage Consult account. They'll be taken to the link on their patient portal homepage and they'll be able to respond to your message. Patients will only be able to respond once each time, so they won't be able to consistently send you messages looking for updates. It will just be one-to-one messaging each way. The second method of contacting patients is video consultation. So loading up the video consultation here, what we can do is we can send a link to the patient and they'd be able to access through their mobile phone or access the video consultation through their computer device. You can also copy this link and send this out through an email as well. We are also able to add more additional participants on the video consultation, the second and third, and you can also send a link to yourself via SMS if for whatever reason, mainly being if the computer device that you have does not have a microphone or a working camera, you can send this to your smartphone and access the consultation that way. We'll now look at the management console settings. And from here, the demand management settings here on show, you are able to set what time you're accepting medical requests to be sent through. and admin requests can be done separately at different times. You can also set request limits for each day, and that is separate. So Monday can have 30, Tuesday can have 20, Wednesday can have 10, Thursday can have 5, Friday can have 1, as an example. On top of that, you can also have it set so users are able to send admin requests and medical requests outside of those service hours. Patients will be signposted to let them know that they are sending these requests outside of service hours, so they will be aware of this when they are sending that request in, and a notification, well, patients will be notified that the timescales for response may be slightly different for that too. We also have intelligent request routing. So any organization-defined rules for specific ailments can go to specific groups at specific organizations. So for example, any diabetes request can go to the diabetes team at the EHS Red Group, or any rash request can go to the cluster medical at the EHS Blue Group. These can be set by organizations and at practice level. This means that, of course, you wouldn't need a specific person routing specific requests to those groups or to those colleagues. It is just done automatically, so that saves that admin time and effort from whoever would be doing that in the practice, say for example receptionist. Instead of filtering through and manually sending those requests over, they would just be done automatically. Another thing we have is the questionnaires. So we have advanced questionnaires, which uses the instant medical history and uses branching logic and sort of yes or no multiple choice questions based on the patient's condition. We have over 200 scored scales for this, and the questionnaires are coded as well. And for example, if there's an anxiety or depression questionnaire, the GAD-7 and the PHQ-6 is coded into there too. The second set of questions that you can ask ask the patient, you can ask the patient both or one of the other, it's up to you, is the ICE custom questionnaire. So using this, it be the ideas, concerns and expectations. As you can see here, we can separate these into the 3 different groups. So if it's a new problem, existing condition, or if they're getting back in touch. These questions are free text, so you'd be able to type whatever question you'd like at a practice or organizational level. And you can also set questions to have required answers. So the patient wouldn't be able to continue without typing in a response. And you can also have some optional questions as well. As you can see an example here, any additional medications or a specific assistance request here as well. These are ticked as not required, so the patient wouldn't have to type in anything in that free text box when they're sending that request through. All of these changes, when they are saved, they do update straight away. So there wouldn't be any issues in if you're changing the questions over, you wouldn't have to wait. As soon as you hit save, that would update on the patient portal homepage there and then. Another feature to highlight is the outbound patient messaging system we have in place. So on the top of the page here, we have outbound messages. What we are able to do is create a message to send directly to a patient into their Engage account. We can also send text messages to patients as well if we need to. And this can be sent to a single patient on their own, or this can be sent as a bulk message to multiple patients as well. So if you're doing a campaign for flu jab, for example, you'd be able to send multiple messages to multiple patients in one go. We'll look at the engage message to begin with, and it'll ask us how we would like the patient to be notified, either via SMS, text, or email. And then it will ask us if we're looking to send that to the patient that's loaded in our clinical system, if we need to manually find a patient, or if we are sending this to multiple patients. To do that, you would create a CSV file from your relevant clinical system and select that file to upload here, and it would use that file's patient details to select multiple patients so you can send those messages out in one shot. So in this case, we'll set this example up with our patient that we have now. Manually find them. Just make sure it's the correct patient, name, date of birth and NHS number. We can either manually send a new message to the patient, the free text box, or we can use one of our messaging templates. So let's say we'll use one of the messaging templates for, say, the diabetes health question review. So once the patient's loaded, we'll just need to confirm their details, like their email address. And as you can see here, the message has been preloaded here. Questionnaire has already been added too, and we are able to add any additional questionnaires as well if we need to. If we open up the box here, add this one, oh, that's one already there. And now we have 2 questionnaires that we are now sending to the patient, and these questionnaires are coded, so when they are uploaded back into the clinical system, they are using those clinical codes to populate those areas. We are able to send reminders to the patient as well. So we can set a reminder, a single reminder to remind the patient to complete the questionnaire, send that back, or send repeat reminders every couple of days at certain times, and that can end on or after specific dates as well. What we can also do is send attachments if we need to from the clinical system, or any other additional attachments that we want to include as well. We can also assign the patient's response once they do come back with that questionnaire to specific groups or colleagues. So in this example, of course, we have the diabetes questionnaire. What we can do is we can send that back to the diabetes team, a colleague that works in the diabetes department, or if needed, a specific organisation that works specifically within that field as well. If for whatever reason we want to assign it back to ourselves, we can also do that too. We also have the option to schedule the send, so this can be sent at a later time and a later date. So for example, if you have a patient coming in for a face-to-face within 2-3 weeks, but you want them to fill in a questionnaire, you can set this so this would be sent out in a week's time or 10 days. So by the time the patient does appear for that face-to-face interview, you would have the response, that questionnaire sent back to you because it's been sent from that near the time to that actual appointment as opposed to a week out. So once we've hit send, we'll just hit confirm, and that's now been sent to the patient. The Engage team is also working on a mobile app which will allow you to send messages to patients, and this will also include push notifications, meaning that the patient will be notified straight away and it will allow them to respond in a timely manner. And you will also be able to send bulk messages and questionnaires all without incurring any SMS costs. The patient will also have the same functionality as the patient portal shown in the intro, and the app itself is due to be released in the next coming weeks.
Those are just some of the key features that we offer in our Engage Consult client. If you'd like an additional demo or further information, please contact our sales team and their information will be on the screen now.